time. Okay, Wednesday night I said I was going to get the engine done. It's pretty well done.
Oh.
And pretty happy with it. The other side's where I got a lot more of the details done today. And I got the engine actually attached to the frame, so it's in there. You can see some of the detail, but it looks better. It even looks better with the hood on it. So then you can see the parts that you want to see. Right there. Then you look in there, and it looks pretty cool. And this side here, I got the radiator. I got the radiator done and the housing done, so you can see kind of up in there. And I just trimmed these pins. I just trimmed those pins and rounded them off so they look a little bit better. And I just drilled the holes and put the bolts in here for the toolbox. Got that done. And let's see, we got the little loader out today, and sure enough, the ground was soft and muddy underneath, and I dug some big chunks out of the backyard. So hey, it was fun. I hadn't driven it in almost since last winter, so I was ready. I was ready. So anyway, we pretty well got that done. And tomorrow I said I was going to get back to working on these cables. And so I got to build a system for that. I haven't put the pulleys in this one yet, but the pulleys are in this one, and the pulleys are in this one, and the pulley's not in this one. So I got to build. This actually comes over past the edge of this, and then that goes out. A cable comes out of there and goes around a spool right there. So that's I'll build that tomorrow too. So I'm going to say tomorrow I should get all this done, and the cables all ran, so it should look pretty cool with all that stuff on there. And I'm going to answer a couple questions. Okay, one, frequently asked questions. Will you make me a model? Are you taking any orders? Not anymore. I just got too old to take orders. I never got caught up for like 20 years. I had orders. And so right now, I'm winding down now, and these are probably the last models I'm going to make. So I'm not taking any orders. And let's see, how do you weld it together? I just tack weld everything. The metal, the 18 gauge metal is so thin that you can't lay a bead. I mean, you can barely touch it. It burns a hole right through it. So you got to touch it a little bit on each side to get the metal thick enough to not to melt through. Do your models run, or could you make them RC? They don't run, and yeah, you could make anything RC, but you'd have to be rebuilt a different way for the drive system. So everything on top would look similar if you could put the batteries and all that, the wiring down in the middle of the model. Then it'd look fine. How much do the models weigh? The smallest ones probably weigh maybe 5 pounds. And the biggest one, that big dozer, weighs maybe 1,200 pounds. Okay, how much do you weigh? In the summer, I weigh 195.
Good one.
And in the winter, I weigh like 215.
That's why you're eating cabbage.
That's why I was eating cabbage last night. Because we do this yo-yo diet. Like last Saturday, we made cinnamon rolls. And this Saturday, we're going to be eating, what, cabbage? Cabbage rolls. Okay. What material do you make the models out of? It's mostly all 18 gauge sheet metal. It's pretty sturdy. You can't hardly bend it with your hand. Okay. How do you paint your models? Well, let's see. Somewhere I have a brand new paint gun. I guess I don't know where it's at.
It's in the house.
Okay. So, if the weather's warm out, the paint flows better. I don't have a good heating system in here, so I don't like to paint and when it's super cold. So, but I don't like spray rattle cans. I just can't stand that watery stuff. If you put too much on to try to get it to shine, it just, that thinner in there just eats it right away, right down to the primer, and it just. And if you do get a perfect paint job, it's so thin, I don't even like it. I've tried it before, I don't even like it. How long have you been building models? I started in 1997. I think we went to the National Farm Toy Show in 98, right? And I took, I think, 20 of my hand-built models. And that was the first time we ever went to a toy show. It was awesome. And let's see. How long have you been? Do you do everything yourself, or do you have helpers? I do 100% of everything myself, right from the beginning to cutting out the very first parts to everything. Everything I do myself. I don't have anybody. Deb doesn't help. I said, Deb, get out here and help me, and she won't do it. And so I told her I'd give her some money. I told her I'd give her a share, you know, but she said nope. But everybody says, is there anything you can't do? And Deb says, yeah. You can't wash dishes. You can't do the laundry. You can't make the bed, right? I think that's pretty much it, right? So
yeah.
There is things I can't do. Let's see. How much do your models cost? This is everybody wants to know, and they vary from different prices. When I first started making them, it was funny because Deb said, she said, how much are you going to get for that? And I said, I don't know. She said $50, and I said, how about $150? And so we went to the toy show, and she said, nobody's going to buy that for $150, you know. And she said, well, you should have put $50 on it. And so I think, the first time we went to a toy show and to sell toys, we took like 15 or 20 little toys. And we had an average price on them about $160 each, and I sold every one of them. So I came home and said, Deb got half the money, and I said, now Deb, aren't you glad you got half of that money? Half of 160 is better than a half of 50 on every one of them. So she said, she gave me the thumbs up, and ever since then she's let me decide how much I sell them for. Okay, where do you get your plans and your blueprints? Very, very rare do I get any actual blueprints. I think maybe one or two models that I've built. All the models I built, I've had blueprints, and so it's usually just photographs. If I can get 20, 25 good detailed photographs, I can make the stuff look pretty close. How do you make your hydraulic cylinders? I make those with tubing. Fact. Right here is a bunch. You can see all that brass tubing down in there. All the different diameters. That all slides into each other. And so when that slides, you put a hole in each end. And so when that extends or moves in, normally most of the models that I have hydraulic cylinders. I use the steel tubing, one size inside the other size, and then that slides in there, and that's how most of those I make. It says, what do you use for the cab windows? And I use evergreen clear plastic, and it's on the internet, and but it's called evergreen, and it comes in different thicknesses. And do you remember what that number was? 9007.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I get the little bit thicker stuff because I have to drill the holes in there. Right there. I have to drill the holes in there, and these number 72 bolts. You can kind of see them. And then the nuts. Let me see if I can find them. Here's the larger size nut. Right there. You see that one? And then there's a smaller size. I mean, this is crazy. Here's a smaller one. See that size nut? And then here's another smaller one. This is a 90. Here's the There, can you see those 3 different sizes? I mean, they are tiny. That's what goes in your eyeglasses. And so it's tricky. It's tricky sometimes to try to line up the little nuts and screws and tighten them down, but I got a pretty good system on the windows. And let's see where we at. Let's see, how long does it take to build a model? A lot of people ask that. The smaller ones I can do in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I don't feel too much pressure, just enjoy it. And they don't get obsessed about it. But the big ones, the silver spade and the big dozer, those took me almost 6 months. And I worked on them every single day, 7 days a week. What scale do you work with? The smallest that I ever made was a 1/32 scale. I made a few grain carts. And I made a pan scraper in 1/32. And I made a couple of front push blades, like silage blades. And I made a beet cart in 1/32 scale. And I made, I think that was about it. In fact, we did an online internet class, and I showed everybody how to make the grain cart, and we all made it together. And it was free. I didn't charge nothing. And so people even overseas around the world made the grain cart. And the grain cart's pretty easy to make. And so it was really fun. It was, I said, we got to do something that's very, very easy. And I just, the grain cart, so I gave all the dimensions, and then as I build it, I would show them how I bent the edges and everything. And so people still tell me they still have the grain cart that we made. So that was pretty cool. And where do you live? I live in Gaylord, Michigan, in the Alpine Village, and we're on the 45th parallel, and we're in a snow belt. And we get a lot of snowmobilers and skiers up here. We live 45 minutes south of the Mackinac Bridge, and we live about an hour from Traverse City, about 40 minutes from Petoskey. So because we live up here, we don't have far to drive in the summer if we want to go over to the water, so that's pretty cool. And I think let's see, did you want to share how much you weigh? I did.
Well, good for you.
Okay, you don't want to do your summer weight and your winter weight?
No,
okay.
Kudos to you.
Okay, let's see. I think we got everything, right?
I think so.
Friend requests. Today Deb put up the 100 videos now we got, right? No, probably not 102, right? You did 2 more? So we got 102 videos, and we're trying to mix them up. So we do a garden tractor, farm tractors, mining equipment, construction equipment, trucks. We're trying to, and then old machinery. Like I said before last night, I think we got over 20,000 photographs, and so now that I'm not spending as much time answering everybody's questions, Deb and I are spending a lot more time on the internet sorting photographs. That's what we're doing every night, and so I'm gonna share all the different subjects with everybody. So be sure to subscribe and like my page, and because if we do end up getting off Facebook, then you'll already be signed up and you'll get a live notice to every day. You'll get a notification that we added a new, but we're going to try every day to add 2 or 3 new videos. We're okay, I think that was it on that. Okay, anything else you can think of?
No, I think that'll do her.
Okay. Okay, I gotta go eat some cabbage. Okay, see you later.